This is basically a video of what not to do when wearing your makeup. What is up? It's Whitney Bro. And in today's video, we're going to be doing some throwback makeup, both aesthetically and using products that are throwbacks. So for my first product, we're going to be using the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. I know the matte one, the not radiant version was more popular than the radiant version was, but still quite a throwback. I don't see anybody use e.l.f. Putty Primer anymore, really, at all. I don't even remember if I like this. It's not used up, so I'm guessing I really didn't. I don't know. It does have a literal pearlescent. I don't know if that's picking up or if you can see it on my skin. It might just translate to radiance, but... And for my foundation, we're going to go in with the NYX Born to Glow foundation, which they discontinued. And I don't understand why they have something good just to discontinue it. It doesn't make sense to me. But alas, here we are. And I'm using that in the shade Neutral Tan. It might be a little bit dark for me, but I'm using a sponge, of course, because this is a throwback makeup look. And throwback-wise, the trendy thing was sponges. Next, we're going to go into the concealer that I chose, which is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. Back in the day when this first came out, it was everywhere. You could not escape her. And I think for the sake of this video, because I'm not wearing this makeup anywhere, I'm going to do makeup how it used to be done back then too, just because. It'll make it fun. So normally I just put a tiny amount of concealer right in that darkest area. Not today. We're full triangle in it. We're going to see if I even remember how to do my makeup like this. Very 2016 to 2018. That's the mind frame we're going with here. Jeez, everything in me right now is like, this is too much, this is too much, this is too much. Like, everything in me is like, get off my face. I just used so fucking much. Anyway. And I'm going to blend it with the foundation side, except for under my eyes, just to try to hopefully get it to blend out a little bit. I don't do my makeup like this anymore, so this is like... I don't know how to explain how it feels doing it this way. And my forehead looks stupid already because I put way too much on there. But you know, that's okay. Shit happens, you know? Some makeup people try to act like every single time they do anything it comes out perfect. And that's just not reality. That's just not life, you know? I'm putting a little foundation to try to help. Why does my forehead look like fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost? That forehead's wildin' right now. Whatever. Onto the under eyes. Oh my Lanta. This is so much. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm doing drag makeup, to be completely honest. Like... This concealer eats, though. Like, I will say that. More people should still be talking about this concealer, because even up close, it don't look busted or dusted or nothing. I get why. I get why I used to do this. Like I said, I do my makeup differently now, but I understand why I used to do this. Look at this sponge. Ooh, so much concealer. So now that we have everything nice and highlighted and we literally look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, we're going to go into the next throwback product, which is the Jouer Bronzing Duo. I remember first getting into makeup and, oh, that me. Um, I remember first getting into makeup and these being all the rage. The only thing people could talk about, the only bronzer that people could talk about, and this used to be their deepest shade, which, like, pathetic. Pathetic. They have since expanded their shade range. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to how good or bad it is, you know? All I can say is hopefully it's better than this, because me being the deepest shade of something, that's a little pathetic. Not in this the year 2024. But again, in 2024 they have a better shade range. This would have been like 2018, I want to say. And it's like, to be honest, I don't remember why people loved this so much. And I used to love it. Like, I mean, you can tell I've used it quite a bit. This mirror I loved because I would keep this in my purse, and it was like my compact because of how big and useful the mirror was. I made my forehead look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and this still isn't dark enough. I do like things more bronzy now than I did in this era, so it makes sense that I would have been okay with this as a bronzer. Like, it's eating here, but my forehead, it is not. And I'm gonna try maybe a different brush to see if that would help. Because is that better? Basically, my forehead and this bronzer are the same color, so it ain't wanting to show up. We're going to bring in the NYX Buttermelt to kind of save the day on my forehead a little bit. Just a little bit. So, this is what we're looking like thus far. I've only had to bring in one rescue product to save the bronzer, but we're going to try not to do that. But I had to because I was just looking shiny up here, not bronze. Either way, I used to love this. Makeup preferences have changed. It's not that girl. If you've seen it and been like, man, I want to buy that, I'm going to save up to buy that, just get a ColourPop bronzer because it probably would do the same thing. Don't get me wrong, it wears beautifully, but it's not something I need anymore, especially after revisiting it. I'm kind of like, maybe in the winter when I'm paler. So the next category is blush, and I am going to be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Glisten. And I think they still sell these. I just don't think this is the packaging anymore. But back in the day, the Amazonian Clay the Amazonian Clay blushes, everything. Which, you can see why. I see the material. I see the material. And these ones had a hint of radiance in them, so you really didn't have to wear highlighter if you didn't. Of course we're going to wear highlighter, but you didn't have to. Okay. Everything was a powder back then. We weren't, cream blush was something that only like makeup artists used, like professional working makeup artists. It was just not a thing in mainstream makeup. And these blushes do last really long, but I have cream formulas now that last just as long. Still a beautiful blush. For our next product, we're going to be using a throwback eye primer, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. When this first came out, I want to say it was 2018, maybe 2019. This was all anyone would use. And it is a great eye primer, don't get me wrong. But it's a little too staunch white for my liking now. I prefer something that has a little bit more... You'll see what I mean. See it? I prefer something that has a little bit more of a skin tint hue to it now, but still works really well as far as performance is concerned. But we're going to blend this all over the eyes and use your other finger to kind of soften those edges. So I use one finger to move that product around bigger areas, and then I use a different finger to feather the edges of it out. And if you have hooded eyes like me, you really want to make sure you not only get it where you think you're going to put eyeshadow, but where eyeshadow is going to blend out to, because that'll just make your life way easier, significantly easier. So now that that's on, I have to let that sit for, I believe it's 30 seconds. Of course, there's no instructions on this, but I do believe you have to let it get dry. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back. So for the throwback palette, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors in Desi Katie Friendcation palette that looks like this on the inside. We're really just going to be doing a pretty basic smoky eye with this brown and this brown, because that's what we did in 2016, 2017. Actually, I fibbed. I'm going to use these two brown shades, not that one. That one's a little too warm for what I'm trying to do. And this first one is the lighter shade, and we can be really messy. We can be really messy with it. Because this is essentially just the feathered out part. And we're going to go in and deepen it up with that other color. And really get it nice and smoked out. I should zoom you in. Let me zoom you in. So that shade is Necessary, I believe it's called. And we're just sloppily going in with that brown. And we're going to do the same on this eye. Very sloppily. And I don't like to tap product off on the edge of the palette or whatever, because to me I think that's a waste. I think you're wasting product because it just goes in the air, when if you just put it on your eye, it doesn't do anything except blend like regular eyeshadow would. So you're not going to see me tap any excess off, because I'm a frugal bitch. Okay, once we have them mostly matching, they're not going to look 100% the same, but you can go back in and kind of troubleshoot. This is our background anyway, so don't worry. Then we're going to go in with that shade Cheens, which is that darker brown. I'm going to kind of tilt my head back like this. It's hard to explain, but if you have hooded eyes, tilting your head is one of the easiest ways to make sure that everything's going to look how you want it to look. I know it seems a little goofy, but it works so well. And this color you don't want to be quite as messy with, because we don't want to look like we have a black eye. We're just going for a smoky eye, not a black eye. So darker color, be a little bit more accurate and a little bit more precise with it. And I have this little weird flap that wants to be weird today. So I'm just leaning to the side, getting on in there. What are you doing? There it goes. And I'm just using the same brush, so just use the same brush. It's one of my favorite dark browns because it's so beautifully rich and just a true brown. Like, it doesn't go gray. You know, it doesn't just look like a dark orange. It's brown the way you picture brown in your head. Okay, I'm going to get this eye to match this one a little bit better off camera, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I have the eyes at the depth and the smokiness that I want them to be at. So we're going to go ahead and move on to eyeliner. And I have the Kat Von D, that's how old it is, tattoo liner. Not KBD. We got the Kat Von D one. And we're going to attempt to do eyeliner. It might be a train wreck. We'll find out. You know, it looks a little sad, but that's gonna be what it is. Don't laugh at the eyeliner. I was never good at it then. I ain't good at it now. Now that I've used the Kat Von D liner, we're gonna go ahead and go in with the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. Perfect throwback for this makeup look. Let me tell you though, this eyeliner sucks. Like, I can feel it pulling my eyelids. It's not good. It's not a good eyeliner. I don't know if maybe back then we didn't have as many options, which is why people were like, oh, this is so good. But it ain't good. It ain't good. Don't buy it. And I would do fake eyelashes because those were huge in the era that I'm doing right now. But to be completely honest, I just really don't want to. I just don't feel like it. And I know that sounds lazy, but I just really don't. And I don't have any that would have been like I don't own Lily Lashes, and that would have been the brand that it would have been. But yeah, brown smoky eye, blush, a big old fat wing. I'm going to go in next with highlighter, which we're going to be using the shade Rodeo Drive. Can't talk about that era of time without mentioning this product. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get on into that. Do we really need this today because of the gleam of the Tarte? We don't. But you know, in this era, there was no such thing as too much highlighter. We're going to put Miss Rodeo Drive to the test. And again, does anyone ever need this much highlighter? Probably not, but it's my fucking base. We're going to go ahead and go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow Eyebrow Gel. I'm still working on this little mini baby one. I should probably just go ahead and order it though, because by the time I run out of this, I don't have an Ulta near me or a Sephora. So I don't want to run out of this and then be forced to use something subpar. I could always use the e.l.f. one though. I like the e.l.f. one. But I've been doing this thing where I try to be honest if I actually like a product more, even if it's going to cost me more money. I try to be more honest and say, no, I actually like this more. That's why it needs to be purchased. I don't need to just be cheap and be like, no, I'm going to go with the less expensive version. So next up, we're going to be going into the lips. This one isn't a throwback, but I have to use a liner to use the throwback product. But I'm going in with the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade Vamp. For the throwback product, we're going in with the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade, I believe this one's in the shade Beso. but it's just this fire engine red. Here's my full face of throwback makeup, both products and how I applied the makeup. I personally hate what this looks like. I was looking at my skin up close. I was like, that's disgusting. There's a reason I don't do my makeup like this anymore. And I'm gonna revisit some of those products that were kind of the little hidden gems. The highlighter I still use all the time. But some of the other products, like this lip, is really pretty. The lip is probably my favorite thing about the whole face. Of course, I went ham with the highlighter, as we would have back in those days. You know, when I was in college, if you weren't seeing the highlighter from space, did you really have it on anyway, you know? But loathe the eyeliner, think it looks stupid. Yeah. So this is basically a video of what not to do when wearing your makeup. But if you had fun watching me, definitely hit that subscribe button. Give me a big thumbs up. It really does help. And, you know, if you guys would be so kind, if you can click on this card up here and check out some of my other videos, that'd be sick. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.